All right, for this problem, we're told that an investor with a portfolio of $95,000 has invested in certificates of deposit, bonds, and stocks. The CDs pay 4% annually, the bonds pay 6% annually, and stocks are expected to return 13% annually. The investor wants a combined annual return of $10,370. He invested $56,000 less in CDs than in stocks. How much was invested in each fund? So for a problem like this, the first thing we want to do is define our variables. So what we're asked to find is how much was invested in each fund. So how much was invested in CDs, how much was invested in bonds, how much was invested in stocks. So that's what we're going to make our variables equal. So we're going to say, let's call X the amount invested in CDs, Y the amount invested in bonds, and Z the amount invested in stocks. And since we have three variables, in order to get a unique solution for each one, we need three equations. So our next step is to take the information that we've been given in this problem and write three equations. So the first equation is going to come from this first sentence. We're told that this investor has a portfolio of $95,000. That means that the total amount invested between CDs, bonds, and stocks is $95,000. So X, the amount invested in CDs, plus Y, the amount invested in bonds, plus Z, the amount invested in stocks, is going to be equal to $95,000. All right, that's the first equation. The second equation is going to come from this second sentence that says the CDs pay 4% annually, the bonds pay 6% annually, the stocks are expected to return 13% annually, and then we also need the information that he wants a combined annual return of $10,370. So you're going to get 4% from the investment in CDs. So the total amount, the total return on that investment is going to be 4% times the amount invested in CDs. So 4% is 0.04 times the amount invested in CDs, plus 6% times the amount in bonds, so 0.06 times the amount invested in bonds, plus 13%, so 0.13 times the amount invested in stocks. That's going to give us a total of his expected return here, which is $10,370. That's how much interest he's going to make on this. All right, and then the third is going to come from the second to last sentence here, where it says he invested $56,000 less in CDs than in bonds. So the amount he invested in CDs, X, is equal to the amount he invested in stocks, Z, minus $56,000. So the amount invested in CDs is $56,000 less than the amount invested in stocks. So now we've got our three equations. Now we can put this into a matrix and use the matrix to solve this system of equations. All right, so the first row in our matrix is going to come from this equation. So we're going to have 1x plus 1y plus 1z is equal to 95,000. And then the second row is going to be 0.04x, 0.06y, 0.13z is 10,370. And then this one will need to move this z over to the other side of this equation. So subtract z from both sides. We get x minus z equals negative 56,000. So we have 1x plus 0y minus 1z is equal to negative 56,000. So now we have our matrix. If we plug this into our calculator and ask it to find the reduced row echelon form, so RREF parentheses this matrix, and hit enter, it's going to give us this matrix in reduced row echelon form, which is going to be 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 1. That's our identity matrix, and then our solution matrix is going to be 15,000, 9,000, and 71,000. So that's this matrix in reduced row echelon form, which means that the amount invested in CDs is $15,000. The amount invested in bonds is $9,000, and the amount invested in stocks is $71,000.